everybody that's joining us. We're so excited to have you here. We have Marika. We're just going to give people just 2 minutes to sign in.
But also when you're here, Marieke, happy to have you here, but also let us know where you're coming from and
Hello, I'm Mariette. I'm coming from Estonia. And thank you very much for the invitation. So just very curious to hear and see what is going to happen.
We're
Feel
so happy
free
to
to
have
ask
you
any
here.
questions in the chat.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had any questions, but maybe after the event or webinar, we will have some.
Beautiful.
Feel free to drop them.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting know where you're from. Well, this is our second episode, Chantelle. We are together in the Feminine Edge. The Feminine Edge, where we talk about female leadership. Many things will pass in the next, we don't know how long. We will be here every week for a long time. It's also where will the Feminine Edge take us? And we are happy to be live, to be present for the women mainly, but last time also men joined. I was really happy with that. And where we can take you and also as we just mentioned, feel free to ask us any questions in the chat in advance or at the moment or afterwards, because this helps us to scope, to create the feminine edge to a place where to a safe place where we feel confident to invite you and you feel confident to join us about the conversation of women in leadership across the globe, because I'm here in a shirt which is very thin. It's summer in the north of Europe, and Chantelle is in South Africa, so she's wearing a sweater. On the southern hemisphere, it's a bit colder, so it's also interesting. And now we have Marieke joining. Last time we had people from Poland, Dubai, also Estonia, indeed. So many places in this hemisphere, in this vertical line of South Africa to hopefully the North Cape, we will join.
Yeah, so it's just very exciting for us to have the Feminine Edge really up and going. And just again, it's about creating a safe space where we can talk about relevant issues that impact women in leadership and in terms of leading authentically. So today we are going to be talking about confidence, and it's something that really impacts every single one of us. And I know that my journey with regards to confidence has been one that has been quite interesting. So I don't know about you, Marion, but for me, when I initially used to view confidence, the thing for me that used to really come up around it was that I felt that I needed things outside of myself to sort of make me feel confident. So it was things like getting a certification, things like, I guess, looking a certain way, things like having people really validate me. And the interesting thing for me is, in terms of really sort of just growing into myself and getting comfortable in my being, what I've really realized is confidence can actually only be attained from the inside. So it genuinely is an inside job. So, I mean, what is your experience with that? I would love to hear your views on that. I mean, obviously we're going to talk a bit more about it, but what are your thoughts on that?
As you say, it starts from the outside. When as a young girl, you wanting to belong to the cool people of school, or wanting to belong to right people in the hockey field, being wanting to be good at playing hockey, all those things that are that I thought would give me self-confidence. But it's not, indeed, as you say, it's not outside. And also studying and working in the corporate world, for me in real estate at that moment, it was interesting and it gave me confidence. But is that the real confidence we're talking about? Is the outside world creating the confidence that's we need as a person? Or is it, as you say, coming from within?
Yeah.
And yeah, well, it's obvious the confidence that we are talking about is from within, because the confidence
From
from
within.
within, that's sustainable.
Yeah.
Confidence from outside, it's not sustainable. It's from the moment. It's depending on the people that surround you, depending on the job that you have, depending on so many things
Yeah.
that are not,
Yeah.
yeah, you.
Yeah.
And the best,
100%.
the beautiful thing about confidence coming from within, then you attract the right things, the right people, the right
Do.
job projects, and that's amazing. Actually, that's also how
I
we
agree.
created this, the feminine edge.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And the thing is, it's just also when we can connect to that from within, the beauty is that we carry that confidence into every situation when we want to. It's not created by the external circumstances. It's us taking it from the inside to whatever circumstances we are in. And that's genuinely what makes it something that's so incredibly powerful. And I think something that's really relevant for us to speak about here is that when we're growing up, right? There is a portion of our life where it's very important for us to fit in, belong, create those ego-based structures, because it's very much a part of the journey in terms of growing up. It is very much a part of how it is that we develop as human beings. It's just at a certain point in your life, kind of like in the second half, I would say, you really start to challenge those things, and you're supposed to challenge those things. And that's where we really start to question. And I guess even before that, if we're having a little bit of a younger demographic on here, it's just, I guess, realizing that the stuff that was essential in terms of our foundational years and going into being teenagers and young adults, those things were necessary, but it's not about staying there. It's about shifting to the point where you realize that everything that you need is really created, from within. And that's really how you carry it through, because your source of power then in that is something that gets created, and then you're never seeking. And if you're never seeking, it's the most beautiful thing, because then you already have it. So, yeah, it's a really interesting thing when you're kind of tracking that. So I know for me, I mean, only really, I'm 43 now, but only really, I guess, in the last 5 years have I really managed to tap into that confidence. And even so much so, really only in the last 2 years, even really, really tapped in. And maybe even in some ways in the last 6 months. So for me, it really just speaks to the journey that we are constantly on with regards to that relationship with ourselves, because it is that, right? It's very much a relationship with ourselves. Welcome, David. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where you're from in the chat. We would love to know.
And what you're saying, it's indeed in the second part of life, and that's also my experience, also 40 plus. So
yeah,
all the things that I've done before, because I can only speak for myself, of course, but all those things that I've done, they were necessary. They're part of your life. So it's not about blaming or feeling guilty or feeling sad or that you didn't have it yet. Yes, you had it, but in a different level, because we're growing in our lives. It's and we will keep on growing. I mean, 50 plus, we will have even more confidence or a different, let's say, a different substance of confidence, a different. We value confidence maybe also different because it's more we've more captured it in our lives.
exactly.
And it's confidence, but all the everything through the years is growing, and so the small things were necessary, and now small, they were big at the time. But when you look back at it, it seems small. And now it's about being present. At that
100%.
moment, when you're younger, it's you want to be present. It's the wanting, it's the need for being present, for being part of something. And now it's not necessarily the need or the pressure that you have to be present in a group or in your job, but it's coming from within, Because from within you feel, okay, but when I'm present, I can do this, because when I'm present, I can have that conversation with my boss, or with a colleague, or with a high-end client. So
Yeah.
it's a different, a totally different perspective of confidence.
Yeah, it's totally different. And also just I love what you're saying about how it is, you know, both of us are just talking about how this tracks through how it is that we develop. And often what I find with a lot of people that I work with is that they have so much judgment for themselves for not having the level of confidence that they want. But what you don't realize is that you are not creating that from a conscious standpoint. You are not choosing to not feel confident, right? It's coming from the unconscious. It's coming based on all of your life experiences up until this point, how it is that you were raised, what experiences you had, how life has maybe knocked you down in some ways. And it's really those defense mechanisms, which it is when we're kind of like making ourselves small or not feeling confidence in the moment. Those things are really created from an emotional experience that you had that has been stored within you. And when we start to be aware, you'll start to see that in terms of confidence, you will feel different levels of confidence in different contexts. So for instance, at work around certain people, you're going to feel confidence or not confidence. With your family, you're going to feel confidence or not confidence. And it's not necessarily going to be the same with all of them. The key thing here is to really start to pay attention. So if there is somebody at your workplace that you feel less than around, what is it about that person that makes you feel that way? Do they remind you of somebody from X amount of time ago? Is it the role or the position or somebody in the work environment that made you feel bad about something years ago or whatever? So there's always something that connects back to a previous event that will potentially make you feel, listen, I can't stand in my strength here. You know, and it's actually not about the person at the time. It's about what that person or that actual event reminds you of. And that awareness is so key, because once you have that awareness, you can genuinely start to work with it. So, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that. That's really my views on it, but what are your thoughts?
It's interesting indeed. I call it a trigger. That
Yeah,
someone
100%. It's a
either
trigger.
indeed either a person triggers you, or a comment, something somebody says, or something completely not in a conversation where you are, but on television, or on the radio, that the subject that's being touched. I'm sorry, people, I still have a bit of a cold, but it triggers something, and I always love, because we're talking now about the inner confidence, and how I also can feel this inner such trigger. It triggers inside the body. It doesn't trigger outside the body. So again, we are there within the body. And either when it's something very serious, it can, for me, it can give me a headache, or when it's something bad, something that gave bad feeling, but also it can give me lots of joy.
Yeah.
It really depends on what is being triggered, and indeed, from the moment that you start noticing, okay, hey, okay, this happens. Why does it happen? Does it happen because of the person that I'm with? Does it happen because of the conversation that I'm in? Does it happen because of the surrounding? And what is the reason why it triggers me?
Yeah.
And when you know the reason why it triggers you, then you can look further. Okay, how did I solve this? Or how did I deal with this last time? I got really sick. Okay, that was not the right way to deal with it. So how can I deal with it in another way? How can I look at it in another way? And I always love to be positive. So also when it triggers a negative reaction, and like a headache, or there's always something positive in something like this, because the next time you will recognize it sooner.
Yeah, if you're aware, I agree.
If you're aware, indeed. So the moment that if this time with my headache, I'm aware of it. Like, hey, oh, this happens, and this is the reason why it happens. I find it hard to change. I find it hard to change the headache, but okay, this is what happened. And afterwards, you can think about it, like, why and no, sorry, how should I or how can I change it? And so that's the positive of it, when it happens, that you learn from it.
Well, triggers are absolutely our greatest teachers. So when something triggers us, all that is an indication that there is something within you that that has kind of like been hit from a past experience. And if we did not have that trigger coming up, we wouldn't actually know that that was the case. So if you can see absolutely every trigger, as difficult as it is, as a gift, you genuinely can see that it's just showing you something about yourself. Because in that moment, and I mean, we're not going to cover projection too much. We won't cover projection today in this talk. But really what we are doing is we are projecting our internal experience onto those people and not realizing that we are seeing our own stuff. So when we can genuinely see that, we can work with it. And the important thing is when we are triggered to really start to ask ourselves, like you said, and like I said previously, what is it about this that is actually triggering me? Is it actually about this person, or is it about the situation? What is it? You can start to work. And the thing is, when you are triggered, you will always feel it in your body first. Everything lands in the body. So you will feel that emotion or the contraction show up somewhere in your body. And then the mind will justify why you feel that way. And if you attach to what the mind is saying, it then creates kind of like that spiral loop. So, I mean, we'll talk about this again in more detail in one of our other episodes, but it's generally important when you start to create that space, once you are triggered, to take a breath, be in your body, just notice what's happening, and then really think, okay, what is true right now? Because if you give yourself that space, what you may realize is, listen, in this moment, I can choose how I respond. So when we do that, when we just create that little bit of a pause, the beauty about that is we can then actually choose how to consciously respond instead of responding from a place of reactivity. And even that, when we come back to ourselves, can affect how we show up from a place of confidence, if you know what I mean. Like in terms of being proud of how we show up, in that moment. Yeah.
I really like what you're saying. Be with the feeling for a moment. Be with the emotion for the moment. Emotions will not stay forever. Emotions are only there for, let's say, 90 seconds. So
if you don't attach to it, yes. Otherwise,
yes,
it's the
indeed,
mind.
if you don't attach, of course. But if you, and this is not attachment. This is not attachment that Chantelle means. Being with it is saying, okay, I feel you.
You've got to be with the feeling. You've got to be with it.
Yes, and be aware of what you feel. Okay, how does it feel? Okay, it's a headache, but it's a different headache than I have normally, or it's in a different spot. So, okay, and be with it. And as you say, from there you can consciously choose what to do with it. And you cannot make conscious decisions if you just go ahead with everything that happens. If you don't spend just a moment, a thought, isn't this also what we want from our environment? We want to be seen. We want to be noticed. And so in a true conversation, you want to have true attention. So being with an emotion is just true attention. It's pure attention. And from there,
and that's all it actually wants.
Yeah. And from there you can take it further. And indeed, being conscious about it, it's and this cannot happen from now to the next hour. These are things to learn. It's not, you don't need to blame yourself if it doesn't work, or if you're not aware of it, or in the end of the day, like, holy shit, what happened today? I didn't do it right. No, it's not about doing things right or about doing things the best way, or it's about giving yourself and your emotions the attention that's needed, but step by step.
Step by step. I love that.
You cannot be a managing director from working in the post office, and that's not necessary. Be okay with where you are. I think that's also a big part of confidence. Don't look to the neighbor where the grass is greener.
Yeah. Listen, comparison is the thief of joy. there's never a good time for me when comparison actually serves, other than looking at your own, like in terms of where you were and where you are now, kind of like noticing that growth. But anytime we look to another person and we're like, oh, there I should be, you're creating a state of anxiety and suffering for yourself. That's been my personal experience and what I've noticed with the people that I work with too. So I love what you're saying. It's like kind of like just to be with, and can we give ourselves compassion? Because actually when we're showing up in that moment, maybe even in lack of confidence or how it is that we're feeling, can we just let ourselves be where we are at? Because genuinely, you may not realize it, but you're always showing up to the best of your ability in that moment. It doesn't mean that you can't grow from it, but that is where you are. So the point is, now that I have conscious awareness, what can I do to kind of like be with that and, you know, move forward from it?
Indeed. And then an interesting question, actually, I would like to ask is, what feels confidence when you feel it? How does confidence feel when you feel it?
Well, I mean, for the people that are here today, if you could just for a moment, and I love this so much. The interesting thing around confidence is that it's actually like really, really accessible. So for those of you who have logged on, just for a moment, do me a favor. I just want you to, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, you can put your cameras off. We don't need to see you. But if you could just for a moment, close your eyes, breathe into your body. And I just want you to really tap into the last time that you felt really confident. And just allow yourself to notice what you were wearing, who you were with, what were the circumstances around that. And just notice, I mean, Marion, are you able to connect to that confidence? Can you connect it? Where do you feel that in your body? If I may ask you, where do you feel it?
It's like indeed in my body from my tummy, but also to my heart. And it's
same for me.
It's in there's movement.
Yeah.
There's it's kind of excitement, like it being my birthday, and joy and well, smiling. It's
trust, yes, self-trust.
Self-trust. And
I love that.
It feels like a flower blooming.
It's beautiful. I love that. And the thing is, like, even if you don't necessarily have an exact experience, if I could ask you now, even if you kind of like had to take away all memory and I had to ask you to go back into your body and I want you to feel what it feels like to be confident. So just breathe into that now, really just be with it. Notice how quickly it's there. Just feel what it feels like to be confident. Now, here's the thing, right? If I had to ask you now to explain to me what something tastes like that you've never tasted. You may know what food item is and be able to hazard a guess just based on what it looks like. But you couldn't tell me for sure what that meal tastes like because you have not tasted it, right? You have no point of reference for that. The interesting thing is with regards to confidence, whether or not you have any kind of experience, you can access that. You cannot tap into something that is yours that is not already there. Confidence is innate. So the point is, any person that I've ever sat with, even when they struggle with the worst sense of self-confidence, is able to connect into a sense of confidence because it is within them already. It is not something that you seek outside of yourself. It is something that you go in for yourself. So today, for the people that are here, I'm going to be gifting you a visualization to help you to connect to that. I'm going to pop it into the chat just before we end off today so that you can really actually tap into that feeling, like really ground into it. And the beauty is you can then choose. I mean, just test this with yourself. It's so beautiful. Just for the next 24 hours, every time before you go into a meeting, right? Or into a social interaction where maybe you haven't felt confidence before. Listen to that. Once you've anchored in that feeling, you can immediately call it into your body and choose to wear it just for 10 minutes or an hour. And then notice if you like that and if you wish it to stay. Because once it is that you've connected it into it in your body, you can actually choose to wear it whenever you want. And then the beauty with that is that potentially you just decide not ever wear it again, but you can really call it in. It's exceptional. It's really, really beautiful. It's such a beautiful way to see things. And then you can really start to see that I can't experience something that I don't have memory of. And confidence is something everybody has memory of because it comes from within them. Yeah. So I don't know what your thoughts on that, Marion, but to me, it's really, really And it's worked with every single person that I've ever done that with. I've never had one person come back to me and said that it hasn't worked. So it's really such a great tool.
I understand. It's a beautiful exercise indeed. I recall, well, actually, I think I've done it also. For example, when I went for a job interview.
Yeah.
What is it that you do? But that's something big. But this is indeed also something for the smaller things. There are moments when I feel tired that I don't like to go in a supermarket because it's busy and people are talking and what to choose to eat or. So just a simple thing from the car to the door, front door of the supermarkets, with my confidence and go back to that feeling. And it will make the route through the supermarket easier. So it can be for the bigger events, a job interview, but also the smaller things, because it's something that you need to build. As I said before, it's not there just like this.
You've got to connect to it.
Yes, and your body, again, back to your body, but your body really needs to experience it more often to recognize the feeling and from recognition comes automatic feeling.
Exactly.
And then it happens automatically. Then when I see a flower, what I just described, a flower blooming, when I see a flower blooming, I might already instantly feel the confidence.
Yeah. And I love that so much. And the thing is, it's kind of like, it's also to realize it's not because I, at a stage in my life, would force confidence. I would force it, but it's not the same thing. Feeling it and forcing it is not the same. It's the difference between pretending and embodying. It's not the same thing. When I'm trying to force it, I'm in my mind and I'm like, I am, and I'm forcing. And it's not the same as like affirmations, right? I mean, those are really, really beautiful. This is like, you're trying to force yourself to be a certain way in the moment from a mind perspective. This is about feeling it in the body and then choosing to embody it for that moment. So if I could choose to embody confidence in this place where normally I don't feel confident, what would open up for me? Like, how would I experience this differently? And you do. And I love what you're saying around the more we connect to it, the more it becomes who we are and our natural states of being. And that is true because we are rebuilding all of those neural pathways that have been set up over a lifetime. And that's also why initially it's not easy for it to become that natural state of being, because you do have to change the way that you have been wired through every single one of your experiences,
It's building by doing.
Building by doing. Yeah.
And
building by doing.
Okay, we're now at the stage that we the inner confidence, but this is also, when I look back at my career, I've also been building confidence by doing, because I didn't know when I had to set up a new office in Scandinavia. I hadn't been there before. I didn't know the people. I didn't know how to or where to find office space. I didn't know where to find staffing. But it's by doing. And now this inner self-confidence, that's also, you just need to do it. And I love the word to embody it. Embodiment is so important because it makes your self-confidence, it makes your confidence pure. You're not thinking about the level of confidence. You're not thinking about the color of the confidence or the confidence that my neighbor has versus my confidence. No, you're not thinking about it because you embody it. It's purely your confidence, and your confidence can be different from my confidence. And that's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's not about comparing yourself to others anymore. And anymore, I say anymore because that's what how I grew up, and like, but that person is wearing this, so I also want to wear it. It's no, and also the world is changing towards being pure, being authentic. Also in business, also really, really also in the corporate world. When do things work out in a project? when people are purely there and going ahead with their knowledge, with their experience, with their passion for something. If a person in your team doesn't have the passion for the project, then he or she is not really of value. And it has to come from within. And then where also where confidence comes from, where authenticity comes from, where interest comes from.
Yeah.
So it's
And I think,
mhm.
yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
I'll go ahead.
So I love what you're saying. The interesting thing for me is when we're talking about like how people show up, right? Confidence speaks so much to imposter syndrome. So often people don't show up confidently because they are actually 100% qualified, but for some reason they feel like they are not, you know. And I mean, if I could just give you an example from my personal life, like when I started coaching, I don't know if this was the same for you, but you initially go through the stage where you're like, oh, geez, you know, can I add value? Can I do this? Can I do that? And the thing where it really clicked for me, I was like, you know what? And for me, it's this exact same thing around the confidence thing was like, if I could, for a moment, feel what it would feel like to be a coach where I know that I bring value and I'm able to bring impact and really help my clients be guided in the way that is necessary for them. Because it's not really about us, right? We're really guiding them. We're not giving them advice. We're just taking them on a journey of self-realization. What would that feel like? And the minute I chose to wear it, I never put it down again. I never actually genuinely, other than like barring a little few paces here or there, like, you know, life, but genuinely decided to continue to wear that. And it really showed up in how I showed up. So I showed up confidently and then realized actually even that was working through me. Like the confidence comes through me. Whenever I'm connected to my being, I show up in the best possible way. And I mean, this does really impact how we show up at work, you know, how we show up in our personal lives, how much of ourselves we give. Because if I'm feeling confident, I am therefore passionate about it, and therefore I will immediately, like you say, bring more, I guess, to any kind of project, you know, or any kind of thing that I choose to give my energy to, you know. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. But also, when you're working in a big corporate firm, know that you are of value because you are you. And so,
Uniquely you.
uniquely you indeed. And the things that you've learned in university or through experience in other jobs, you are the person bringing it with your character, with you as a person. Another person cannot do that, what you can do. So know, know and feel your value. Have the confidence that it's truly you that can bring this. It's not anybody else, and you cannot bring what another can bring because you are not that person.
Yeah.
And that's something
Genuinely,
that
I agree,
people tend to forget when you're looking at other people or indeed being insecure. I've been insecure. I've been very, very, very much insecure about many things in life. But when I started to learn, like, hey, but I'm adding value here. And this is the value that I add. This is where I'm good at. Okay. So, and now people ask me to have to join them in their project or business or because of that value. Wow. So it's also understanding who are you and what do you want to bring indeed, what's your passion and what are you good at? So a simple SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. I hated it in school, but it's so important to understand who you are because that also can make you feel more confident. And yes, I have weaknesses. I know I have weaknesses. And I will learn to deal with it in a in a moment how to solve at that moment, or I will ask someone to help me with it, or but believe in yourself.
I love that. I love that because this is the thing we don't realize, like you're saying, we all bring something innately unique that nobody else has. So yes, they can have the same qualifications, they can have the same this, they can have the same that, but they are not you. They will not deliver it the way that you will. And when you really start to own that and embody that and be willing to even show that more, things really do start to change for you. And it's just like you say, know the value that you hold, because just merely the fact that you breathe means that you have value. Everybody is made of the same stuff. There is nobody that is actually more than you or less than you. We are all the same because we are made of the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's so beautiful when people really start to realize that and like genuinely start to step into that, because it does change the way that you feel in terms of how confident you are. And I mean, we have all these tools, like you're saying, just a simple SWOT analysis can genuinely help. Another thing that also is really helpful is, if you're not sure what you're good at, ask people. They will tell you. You probably often get compliments. And then if you're somebody that's like I used to be, struggles with receiving compliments and stuff, you don't want to listen. But if people keep telling you that you're good at something, listen. And could you just own that one thing in a small way? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I
Just that
completely
one
know
thing.
what you're saying.
So there's so many like little ways, even if people aren't working with a coach, for them to genuinely really start to tap into that. That's so incredibly effective. So I for those of you that are in attendance, I popped the visualization. It's a YouTube visualization. If you want to go and grab that out of the chat, it is there for you. When we upload our video onto our YouTube channel, we'll also pop it there at the bottom, but just to make you aware that is there. But I don't know if maybe we could just open up for a few questions or comments. I don't know if anybody has anything to ask or just to comment.
Feel free indeed to write it down, or we can also give you the mic. But I just want to go back to what you just mentioned.
Please.
The fact that you breathe means you have value.
Just
the fact that you breathe means that you have value. It's so simple. It's so incredibly simple. And one thing, you were saying about compliments. Yes, you do get compliments. And what I have a little notebook. And in this notebook, I write down the compliments. So every time I get a compliment,
I love that.
And I just write it down. And every now and then I just have a look at it, and I'm like, oh, wow, did I get a compliment from that person? Wow, that's an amazing or simple compliment, a big compliment. It can be anything.
Yeah.
And when you write it down, when you've got it, you can look back in moments that you don't feel well, or just when you also when you feel great, just have a look at it, because
100%.
life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful. That is true. Yeah, I love that. And again, what we're talking about here is when we ask people, it's not about getting that validation from the outside. It's about being willing to. You need a starting point. And sometimes the starting point is, what does that person say? Because I can't see it within me. And sometimes people can see things that you cannot see. And then which is the thing that you have the least resistance about? And can you just accept that about yourself and be willing to own and embody that, and be willing to sort of use that, I guess, towards your growth. And I also just want to say, with regards to this, I mean, the one thing that's very important for me is, it's for us to understand that we are constantly on a journey. I mean, even us, like myself and Marion, we are on our own journey still with confidence. There are still places in my life where I don't necessarily have all of the confidence, right? But the point is, it's about stretching our edges wherever we can. Stretching our edges wherever we can, because we are not perfect. We are not meant to be perfect. We're not going to feel that in every situation, because we are all going through our life stuff, working through our own triggers, and really that is beautiful too. That is beautiful too. And it's just to own that is part of the experience, So even if in your life you kind of decide, well, just at work, I want to focus on confidence to start, that's perfectly perfect. It's okay. Again, like you were saying earlier, Marion, it's just to meet yourself where you are at and be okay with that. You don't have to, you're not a project that needs to be fixed. You don't have to conquer every mountain in a day. Like, start with one thing, one person, one situation, one environment, and then move on from there.
Yeah. No, it's very You're right. And also what you say, that this booklet, it's indeed not giving the value, giving my value of who I am into the hands of others, but it's indeed sometimes, like the little example that you gave before entering a room, going back to that feeling, and sometimes everybody, at least I expect, everybody needs to have some tools. As you say, a coach.
Exactly.
Today I was with my coach, and she gave me a great insight again as well, and also tools, because you know, once you start learning and understand that life is growing into it, you cannot stop learning. You want to keep on
We are
learning,
constantly learning.
and it's not about being better or than others, or being bigger or something like that. No, because your life is your life. You're living just your life. Thank God, I'm living only one.
One's good
So,
enough.
yeah, one is good enough.
That's one's hard
And
enough.
yeah, make the best of it with the tools that you get. And there's no holy grail for everybody. There are tips and tricks. Someone might think, okay, I will use this tip. Someone will think, okay, I will use the visualization. And someone will think, okay, what those women talk about, it's not for me. I need someone else. That's all. Everything is fine. It's not about following only one leader. At least that's my opinion, because you can learn
I
from
get you.
everybody,
I
and
agree.
you need to grab what's helping you. And feel free also, when you look at this video in a later stage, feel free to contact us if something does resonate and you want to have a chat about it. Like, okay, what I saw in the video, that really resonates, but help me a little bit. Ask us questions, send us a DM, or book
We're
a
so
call
happy
with
to
us,
help.
because we are
Yeah.
happy to talk about this in another moment, just one-on-one.
100%. Just
That's
one-on-one, yeah. So
that's why we are doing this, to start a
reach.
conversation, and well, to spread the words, and yeah, to trigger again the trigger, but trigger in a different way, to trigger yeah, your interests. Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
How do you want to grow? Is it the confidence, or is it maybe like well, next week we're going to speak about the fear of moving forward. And also another moment we will talk about imposter syndrome. There are many things you can talk about,
There's so many. Yeah.
but every little thing we will talk about, it's about self-development.
Yeah.
Self-development, yes, you have to do it yourself, but sometimes, at least I find it incredibly helpful for many years already, and I've had different coaches, an amazing Moroccan coach, and now this coach I'm talking about is here in the Netherlands. You know, everything goes step by step. So whatever triggers, let us know.
Yeah.
We are here to listen
We are here.
and to ask questions.
Yeah. So you can contact us on the Feminine Edge page, or if either of us resonate with you, you can contact us through our pages on LinkedIn. We're both actively coaching, so please feel free to DM either of us, get hold of us. We'll also pop our details into our YouTube page, how to contact us. But yeah, we genuinely just loved having you all here today. Thank you so much for those of you who are in attendance. And yeah, please join us next week for Fear of Moving Forward. We are going to have a great resource that we're also going to give every single week. That's part of our plan, just to give you something that could be really, really helpful. And also, if there are any topics that you would like us to cover, please feel free to let us know. We would love to, bring those kinds of conversations to the table, stuff that could be genuinely of value to you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us, for your support, and for sharing your thoughts. I look forward to the conversation next week, and feel free to drop the questions.
Yeah.
We will see you then.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marion. It was so wonderful chatting to you. Thank you to everybody that attended. We will see you hopefully next week.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.